Hello, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Moon Knight, the complete collection. Not that it's actually the complete collection, there's a lot more Moon Knight than this. This is actually Moon Knight by Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev, the complete collection. So it's just not worded very well. If you know your Moon Knight, that's fine. If you're just kind of starting to get into it, that may confuse you a little bit. But Moon Knight by Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev, the complete collection. Essentially, this is volume 6 of Moon Knight, which is probably the least popular run on Moon Knight ever, for reasons we shall get into. So what about this volume? Okay, this is a soft cover. Previously was available as hardcover, I believe, about 3 or 4 years ago. Softcover version has been recently released, and price wise we are looking at, I believe, about $30 or $37.50 Canadian, £25, although I got mine from Forbidden Planet, so it wasn't £25, it was about $17.25. If you want to go and check that out for yourself, I will put a link in the description below. Looking at the actual volume, we have this very nice piece of artwork of Moon Knight on the front. Looks rather splendid. Spine, very nice clear lettering, little piece of artwork at the base. And on the back we've got this very nice circular design which features several characters and images from the story itself. So what about Moon Knight if you're not particularly familiar with Moon Knight? Well, very briefly, a couple of things you probably need to know. Firstly, Moon Knight is a guy called Mark Spector, ex-marine, ex-mercenary, betrayed by another mercenary on a mission, left for dead, crawls to a nearby temple and collapses beneath a statue of Khonshu. Khonshu is the Egyptian god of the moon and vengeance and the protector of travellers in the night and probably other things I've forgotten. And Khonshu, whatever Khonshu actually is, resurrects him, brings him back to life. And in return for this, Mark Spector becomes Khonshu's champion, his instrument of vengeance, what Khonshu calls the Fist of Khonshu. And thereafter he runs around being the superhero Moon Knight. The other thing you probably need to know about Mark Spector is he has DID, dissociative identity disorder, which means he's got multiple personalities. Now, how long this has been going on for and quite what causes it is a subject of some debate. But apart from Mark Spector, his main identities are Stephen Grant, who's a sort of billionaire businessman, Jake Lockley, who's a cab driver, and Mr. Knight, who seems to be a sort of a variation on the actual Moon Knight persona. And Mr. Knight is a sort of unofficial police consultant. So, having got that sorted out, what about this particular volume itself? What have we got going on in this? Well, let's take a look. So the story essentially is that Mark Spector has moved out to the West Coast because some production company have decided to make a TV series of his life, and Mark Spector is out there as the official consultant. Now when he's not doing that, he's running around the West Coast being Moon Knight. And while he's doing that, he discovers that a particular supervillain, I won't tell you which one, but he's a big bad supervillain, has plans on becoming the crime kingpin of the West Coast. So Moon Knight sets about to stop him. Now, as part of this plan to become this big crime kingpin, the supervillain is about to negotiate a deal for some merchandise with another supervillain. Now, that supervillain in question is a character called Mr. Hyde. Now, as I'm sure you can imagine, anyone called Mr. Hyde is going to be a very nasty piece of work, which he is. Now, the item he's going to sell to the big supervillain is an Ultron body. If you've seen the second Avengers film, Avengers Age of Ultron, you will know about Ultron. He is a highly advanced artificial intelligence who essentially kind of wants to wipe out humankind. So, you know, not completely bonkers at all or anything. Now our big bad supervillain is planning on buying the Ultron body from Mr. Hyde when Moon Knight sticks his nose in and basically ruins the deal. And the two of them then continue to cross paths, with Moon Knight attempting to stop the supervillain from becoming his big crime kingpin, and said supervillain wanting obviously to get rid of Moon Knight. Now over the course of the story, Moon Knight is assisted by a couple of other characters. One of them is a guy called Buck Lime, and Buck Lime is an ex-SHIELD agent, but he ends up building all of Moon Knight's gadgets and bits and pieces and whatever he wants built for him. Now the other character that works with him is a character called Echo. If you saw the recent Hawkeye TV series, you will have encountered a version of Echo. She's Native American, she's deaf, and she has photographic reflexes, which means she can copy anyone's movements or fighting styles after seeing them once. And then we come on to the reason why on the cover we have got Captain America, Wolverine and Spider-Man represented, and that is because in this particular volume, rather than Moon Knight's alternate personalities being Stephen Grant, Jake Lockley and Mr. Knight, they decided to make his other personalities Captain America, Wolverine and Spider-Man. Now it's a bit confusing, I have to say. Sometimes it seems as if he's imagining Captain America, Wolverine and Spider-Man are there in the room and he's having a discussion with them, even though they're not really there, they're just in his head, and he knows they're not there, he knows they're just in his head, but he's still talking to them anyway. And sometimes it seems like he thinks he is one of them. Sometimes he thinks he is Spider-Man, sometimes he thinks he's Wolverine, sometimes he thinks he's Captain America. Now this was completely different to what's been done before or what's been done after, and this is the reason why this particular run is the least popular one. A lot of people did not like this at all. I did quite like it, even though it was quite different, and I was curious to see where they would have gone with this if they'd continued with the idea. However, now at one point we do actually get the Avengers turn up because they've heard about what's going on, so they come in to check up with him and they're like, what are you doing, what's been going on? And he has to explain exactly what he's been up to and what the plan is to them. This does lead to a little bit of an interesting conversation between Moon Knight and Spider-Man, because at one point Moon Knight does go out on a mission dressed as Spider-Man, and Spider-Man says to him, did you dress up as me and beat up some strippers? So he gets this Buck Lime, the guy who's inventing all his gadgets for him, he makes him a Captain America shield, or he makes him a shield at one point, not exactly like Captain America's. He's working on making him web shooters and web fluid, and also some pop-out Wolverine claws. The whole thing just builds up, obviously, until this big final confrontation with the big supervillain. Now, looking at the back of the volume, it does give us a little write-up which says, Moon Knight is in for the fight of his life. Who better for him to call upon to lend a hand than Captain America, Wolverine and Spider-Man? The trouble is, they're all in Moon Knight's head, the latest splinters of Mark Spector's shattered psyche. And as Spector battles his own mind to find balance in his new home of Los Angeles, a powerful criminal mastermind makes his deadly move, trafficking Ultron's temporarily inert robot body. Can Moon Knight get his act together in time to take on this deadly threat? Or is he way out of his league? Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev who wowed readers with Daredevil, reunite to deliver a unique take on another fan favourite Marvel vigilante. And this particular volume collects Moon Knight, the 2011 series, issues 1 to 12, which is the complete run of Moon Knight Volume 6. And also in the back of it we do have a couple of pieces of artwork, as well as some illustrations from Alex Maleev's sketchbook. So there we go, there's Moon Knight, the complete collection, although as I said, it's obviously not actually the complete collection. It is Moon Knight by Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev, the complete collection, or Volume 6, whatever you want to call it. If you're just getting into Moon Knight, I'd say this is probably not a good place to start, just because this particular run is completely different to everything else. If you are a Moon Knight fan and you've not read this, it is at least worth picking up and taking a look at, even though a lot of people really don't like it because of the whole Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man thing. But there we go. There is Moon Knight, the complete collection. That is it for this video. Until next time, remember, hit the thumbs up below, and I will see you in the next one.